Number 1. Amelia Earhart, known as Lady Lindy, was an American aviator who mysteriously disappeared in 1940 while trying to circumnavigate the globe from the equator. Earhart was the 16th woman to be issued a pilot license. She had several notable flights, including becoming the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean in 1928, as well as the first person to fly over the Atlantic and Pacific.
Number 2. Dyatlov Pass Incident. The Dyatlov Pass incidents referred to the death of 9 hikers in the northern Ural Mountains in the former Soviet Union between 1st and 2nd February 1959 in unclear circumstances. The experienced trekking group, who were all from Ural Polytechnical Institute, had established a camp on the slopes of Kolatsyakal in an area now named in honor of the group's leader, Igor Dyatlov. During the night, something caused them to tear their way out of their tents and flee the campsite, all while inadequately dressed for the heavy snowfall and sub-zero temperatures. After the group bodies were discovered, an investigation by the Soviet Union authorities determined that 6 had died from hypothermia, while the other 3 showed signs of physical trauma. 1 victim had a fractured skull, 2 others had major chest fractures. Additionally, the body of 1 team member was missing her tongue and eyes. The investigation concluded that an unknown compelling force has caused the deaths. Numerous theories had been put forward to account the unexplained deaths, including animal attacks, hypothermia, avalanche, chaotic winds, infrasound, included panic, military involvement, or some combination of these. Number 3. Lauren Spear. Lauren Spear is an American woman who is presumed dead after she disappeared on June 3, 2011, following an event at a bar in Bloomington, Indiana. At the time, she was a 20-year-old student at Indiana University. Her disappearance generated national press coverage and remains unsolved. On the night she disappeared, Spear was drinking with several friends. Her boyfriend, Jesse Wolf, said he did not go out with Spear on her or her friends that evening. He said he was texting back and forth with the Spear before he went to bed. According to the witnesses, Spear was very intoxicated. Bloomington police used video surveillance footage and witnesses' statements to create the timeline of Spear's whereabouts before her disappearance. A number of theories have emerged in reference to what happened to Spear that evening. Spear's parents have stated that they believe their daughter is dead. Based on her level of intoxication, they also felt that she may have also drugged while at the bar. We felt somebody could have spilled something into her drink at Kilroy's, said Robert Spear. The Spear family has voiced suspicion about the men she was with that evening as well as her boyfriend, since they refused to take the police-issued polygraphs and retain lawyers soon after Spear's disappearance.
Number 4. Elisa Lam. The body of Elisa Lam, a Canadian student at University of British Columbia in Vancouver, was recovered from a water tank atop the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles on February 19, 2013. She had been reported missing at the beginning of the month. Maintenance workers at the hotel discovered the body when investigating problems with the water tank.
Number 5. The disappearance of Jean Spangler. In Los Angeles, 1949, a young beautiful actress on the brink of stardom suddenly disappears, leaving only a purse containing an unsigned cryptic reading. At approximately 5 p.m. on October 7th of 1949, Spangler left the Los Angeles home she shared with her mother and daughter. She left Christine with her sister-in-law, Sophie, telling Sophie that she was meeting with Benner regarding a late shield support payment. On the way, Spangler stopped at a store near her home. The clerk in the store was the last person known to have seen her. When Spangler didn't return home, Sophie reported her missing to the police. Then they checked with all the studios she worked with. On October 9th, 2 days later, Spangler's purse was found near the entrance to LA Griffith Park.
Number 6. The disappearance of Flight 19. On December the 5th, in 1945, 5 U.S. bombers took off from a naval air base in Florida and never came back. At about an hour and a half into Flight 19, airplane and base radios began picking up strange communications between Flight 19 bombers. It soon became apparent that Flight 19 had gotten lost. Numerous craft were sent out in search of Flight 19 in an attempt to set them on the right course. No one was able to spot the 5 planes. Even stranger, one of the patrol planes sent on the attempt search and rescue vanished as well. It is assumed that they would have attempted to make a water landing, which would have spelled their doom. The planes would not have made the landing, and the men would have died on impact or while they were waiting for rescue in the open water. This would explain why nothing was ever found.
Number 7. The disappearance of Mary Celeste. Crew members spotted a ship adrift in the choppy seas. Captain David Morehouse was taken aback to discover that the unguided vessel was the Mary Celeste, which had left New York City 8 days before him and should have already arrived in Genoa, Italy. He changed course to offer help. Through the decades, a lack of hard facts has only spurred speculation as to what might have taken place. Theories have ranged from mutiny to pirates to sea monsters to killer waterspouts. The ship began its fateful voyage on November 7 of 1872, and the log's last entry was recorded at 5 a.m. on November 25th. Till this day, no one knows what happened to the Mary Celeste and the crew members.
Number 8. On Christmas, December 24, 1945, a fire destroyed the Southern home in West Virginia, United States. At the time, it was occupied by George Souther, his wife Jenny, and 9 of their 10 children. During the fire, George, Jenny, and 4 of the 9 children escaped. The body of the other 5 children have never been found. The Southers believed for the rest of their life that the 5 missing children survived.
Case 9. Ricard. What happened? What happened is, on April 15, 2005, Ricard called for Nicola, her wife, to inform her that he was driving through the Bush Valley area northeast of Central Hall. Ricard failed to return home, and the late that evening, for Nicola, reported him missing. The following day, investigators identified Ricard Red Mini Cooper in an antique shop parking lot in Lewisburg. The car contained a cell phone, but not the laptop, keys, or wallet. Investigators identified no signs of foul play. Police and family members noted that the location of the vehicle adjacent to the bridges over the river bore some similarities to the location of the vehicle Ricard's older brother Roy when he committed suicide in 1996. The theory is that Ray wished a new life and therefore engineered a disappearance. Ricard allegedly expressed interest in the case of the Cleveland police chief who had disappeared in order to start a new life. Multiple signs of Ricard were reported after his disappearance, most notably in a bar in Waltz Bears, where both the bartender and the off-duty police officer claimed to have seen Ricard watching a baseball game. It also been suggested that Ricard may have taken off to Eastern Europe. He was semi-fluent in Russian and fluent in Slovenian. He had relatives in Slovenia, and had made trips there before. Case 10. Diane Agat. Agat was last seen leaving her residence in the block of Chesapeake Drive in Odessa, Florida, at approximately 11 a.m. on April 10, 1998. A witness observed Agat walking north on US 19 New York Avenue in Hudson, Florida, on April 11, the day after Agat left her home. She was never been heard from again. Agat did not have her medication with her when she walked away from her residence. Agat's mother received a phone call, but she wasn't there at her residence. So the answering machine recorded a message saying, "Help, help, let me out," while a noise consisted with someone attempting to grab the phone away from her and was overheard. Agat was heard saying, "Hey, give me that," before the call was terminated. The caller ID that was placed called Straight Light in Odisea. The theory is that a goth was kidnapped and tortured for at least a month while the police was finding pieces of her body like fingers on the streets. There's no reason why the kidnapping, but police declared her dead.